Hey, what's up, guys? Siax here again. I promised it, and here it is. I got a primer for you for BT and Hyjal. I really wanted to get this out probably tomorrow, but I can feel myself getting sick. My son had a fever last Friday and has sounded like he's gonna cough up his lungs the whole weekend. So, yeah, I know what's coming. I've seen the ghost of CX future, and I am not gonna want to be talking into a microphone tomorrow. So. Production value is going to be a little bit lower today, but this is information I wanted you guys to have before the new phase drops. Short and sweet today. I'm just going through boss by boss to tell you little things that I think can help you parse early for this phase. Get your best perfect average up nice and high so you can look like you're good at the game. And then you can chase all stars later on. All right, let's jump right in. Okay, you're going to be starting in Hyjal for this week because you have to. I don't know what your guild's going to do in the future. Maybe you split it up into 2 different raid nights. Each their own. We're a one night guild, so we'll just bang them out back to back. In Hyjal, the first boss you're fighting is Rage Winterchill. This is going to be 1.5 to 2 minutes, depending on your guild's kill time. 2 minute fight, 1.5, 2 minute fight. That means you're getting 2 sappers in. You're getting 1 full usage of your cooldowns. So the only thing that you need to think about here is if your guild is lusting early or late. If you're lusting late, obviously you're going to be staggering things into your execute window. I would recommend a late lust on this. The only thing you have to worry about on Rage is, okay, I'll rephrase. There's 2 things to worry about on Rage Winterchill. He has a ice tomb mechanic that will just destroy your parse. If you get it, you're cooked. That's kind of why I think that I would aim for a late lust, because you can hold your potion until the very last 15 seconds of the fight. If you're doing that, you should also have a living action potion on you. What you're going to use that for is that if you get the ice tomb at any point during the fight, you'll use your living action potion instead of a haste potion. Haven't actually checked the math on it, but I can't imagine a world where sitting in an ice cube for 5+ seconds is going to be better than not having a haste potion. So use the lap. Living action potion again. That's a ZG potion you have to go and get. A little bit annoying, but it's fine. If you're holding it, yeah, like if you're having the late lust there, then you can hold the lap the whole fight and just use your haste potion in the last 15 seconds of the fight. So that's why I think late lust probably comes out on top here. The only issue is the D&D Death and Decay. If it lands directly on your melee stack, you're probably gonna have to get out. I don't know that healing and gear is good enough yet that you're gonna be able to sit in and just eat that thing. Yeah, test it, see what your guild's doing. If you're running more than 5 healers, then maybe you can just sit in there and eat it. We're gonna run 5 for the first week just for safety. 4 or 5, depends on the boss. We'll see what we do. Yeah, let's move on. Anetheron, another 1.5 2 minute fight. Again, 2 sappers, 1 full usage of cooldowns. I would again use a late lust here if you can influence your guild. There's not really anything there that's all that dangerous. He does a war stomp. A couple bosses in here do war stomps. Super annoying. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't remember this guy war stomps. No. All right, moving on. Anetheron. Same time for this one, 1.5 to 2 minutes. So you're getting 2 sappers, 1 full usage of cooldowns. I would recommend influencing your guild to go for a late lust. There's a sleep mechanic in this. You can just tremor that off, I think. And if you get targeted by the Infernal, you have to run out. Unlike with Rage Winterchill, where you can lap it off, like you could lap it off, but you've already had to run out with the debuff, so your parse is already cooked. So I wouldn't worry about laps for this fight. Just go with a late lust, full cooldown usage in that window, and put up big numbers. Kaz'Rogal, the next fight, there's just nothing going on here. There's just nothing. Just it's 1.5, 2 minute long, same thing. 2 sappers, 1 full usage of cooldowns. Late lust is definitely the better play for warrior here. If you have a lot of other people, hunters and things like that, and they're pushing for early lust, you can do that. But I would always late lust. It's just a benefit to the guild. Okay, let's move on. Azgalor. This one's a little bit longer, 2 to 2.5 minutes. Cast Doom every or at 50 seconds or so. So it's like every minute you're going to get a doom out. I believe that early lust is the play on this one, at least to start. If you're going to be like degenning and don't mind wasting an entire raid night in here, then you could go with late lusts. But what you have to do in that situation is like hope that it targets a non-good DPS or a shaman with doom. That way they can get right back up. Otherwise, you're losing uptime. Even then, you're losing like buffs and things like that. So I just think early lust is probably the play on Azgalor. 2.5 minutes, you can get 2 usage of your 2-minute cooldown. So if you're lusting in the first 5 seconds, which you should be, you can use full CDs off the rip, and then you can have your 2 minutes again in the execute window. So make sure you're using 2 potions in that situation, or 2 uses of Bloodlust Brooch. I don't know why I said that so weird. Whatever. On to Archimonde. This one, like somewhere between just a straight up tank and spank for warriors and like a lot of movement depending on the RNG. 2 to 2.5 minutes, a lot like Azgalor. You could late lust this and get the execute lust, but you have to remember that the boss engagement ends at 10%, so you're getting less value out of the execute. Probably an early lust angle, and then using your second potion again in the execute window. But we'll see until we have live logs and see what everybody's doing. Right now we're just going off of like PTR logs and old VODs and like my old kill times. So until we see what hunter stack comps are doing to these bosses, we just won't know what the like true kill times are going to be. So right now start with an early lust and use the second potion and execute. Okay, then you're moving on to Black Temple. First boss in Black Temple is Naj'entus. There's only 2 mechanics that matter. He throws spines out that will impale people, the impaling spine. It has to be taken off immediately. For that reason, you should have your melee and like a few stacks around the back of the boss, and somebody designated in each one to click the spine. Or if you all have brains, just whoever clicks it fastest. And then at exactly 1 minute, he's going to put up a shield. You need to top up your raid before that happens so that you can immediately break the shield, because the longer that shield is up, that's more downtime and less DPS. So from a warrior perspective, the only thing you need to think about, and again, this is a 1 minute to 2 minute fight. Sorry, 1.5 to 2 minute fight. So you're only getting 1 usage across the board. You're getting 2 sappers. Don't use your sappers right before impaling spines go out. They do like 4.5k damage, and they continue to tick if nobody takes it off of you quickly. So sapper immediately and sapper in execute. And yeah, use your nightmare seeds or health stones, whatever you need to do to get your health up over the 8.5k mark, because when the shield breaks, it's going to do 8.5k damage to everyone. On to Supremus. This is about a 2-minute fight. Should be 2 to 2.5 minutes. He's going to phase swap at 1 minute. So you want to early lust here, because phase 2 has a lot more boss movement as it chases people around and it randomly targets people. So like you're going to lose uptime on your lust if you're not lusting in the first phase. So just lust in the first phase. If your kill time's a little bit slower and you get up past that 2-minute mark on the kill, just make sure you're using a potion again in execute phase. Again, 2 sappers, and yeah, on with your life. Teron Gorefiend. This is an execute lust angle. There is a mark that goes out around the 1 minute timer. Yeah, and you're hoping that ends up on like a healer or something, because they're gonna have to go do the ghost phase. You're probably not getting your kill times down low enough right now that you're going to completely skip the ghost phase, but you're probably close. This is going to be like 1:45 to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So I don't think you're realistically going to be able to get 2 potions consistently. If you're in a slower guild or a little bit more dad guild, you probably get 2 potions. And if that's the case, then yeah, use one off the rip and again in execute phase. And fire your cooldowns wherever your team is lusting. I highly recommend execute lust because it's just more damage. Okay, on to Reliquary. This one's a little bit more complicated. There's 3 phases. Each one will have a different length depending on where you lust. I think that you're going to see a lot of people doing cringe stuff later on in the phase, because the first engagement that you have has no armor. You can put up really, really gross numbers if you lust that first phase. The problem with the first and the third phase is that neither one is going to give you full value on your lust. But it's like, you kind of do it anyway. The first phase, you would do a lust if you're chasing a Parse because it has 0 armor, so you just annihilate the thing. Third phase, you're chasing the clock because it's just an enrage timer, basically. So you're right now, you're probably lusting phase 3, so that's going to be like 30 seconds long. Let's just go phase by phase. First phase should be about 45 seconds with good DPS and no lust. So you're going to use all of your cooldowns at the start of phase 1 for maximum damage. Second phase is longer because you don't have your cooldowns up. It's about 90 seconds. If you're in a slower kill guild, you can get a 2-minute potion in here. It should happen about 15 seconds into phase 2. Your potion should come off cooldown and your Bloodlust Brooch or whatever 2-minute trinkets you have. Fire them there if you're in a slower guild. If you're in a faster guild, you might want to hold them. Again, that's one of those things we need to see what logs look like once everything goes live. We're just going off PTR right now. And then in third phase, all of your cooldowns should be up again. If you used a 2-minute cooldown in the second phase, your potions and Bloodlust Brooch will come back up right at the end of this phase or near the end of this phase. Just make sure you're popping them into your executes. Again, I think it's going to be no lust in phase 1 and 2, and then full lust in phase 3. Just make sure you have your Death Wish back up for that, which means firing it early in phase 1. Okay, on to Gurtogg Bloodboil. There's nothing here for melee. Just smash the boss. It should be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so you're probably going to get 2 usage of potions. Make sure that you're lusting very early if you're going to lust early, because that way you can guarantee you get that potion again. And if it's a front end lust, don't worry about staggering. You want to get your potion on cooldown and your Bloodlust Brooch on cooldown as quick as you can so that you can have them again in execute. On Mother, this is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. If you're going past that, you're going to run out of mana and you're just going to die. Like your raid is going to run out of mana and you're going to die. There's a lot of raid damage going on here. You know, if you're in a dad guild and you're running Shadow Res, you're not gonna parse this fight. You need to be using like 1 to 2 pieces of shadow resistance and your rocket boots, or no shadow resistance and rocket boots. Again, it kind of depends on how many healers you're running. If you're in the like 5 healer to 6 healer range, I bet you could get away with no shadow resist, but your guild needs to be good and needs to be on the same page that you're all using rocket boots to get out fast. So it's 2 minutes, 30 seconds, give or take. So again, if you're lusting early, make it very early so that you can get 2 uses of your 2-minute cooldowns. If you are execute lusting, then you have to look at your kill times to know whether or not you can potion and brooch off the rip and then use them again in execute. Execute lust would definitely be cute on this fight. The danger with it is that there is a lot of raid damage, and if one person gets targeted multiple times by Fatal Attraction, they're not going to have their boots up, and they can kind of just get caught by that. Like, you're just going to die because you don't get out fast enough and you just take too much damage if you're not wearing Shadow Res. So if people are dead by the time you would get to your Execute Lust, then Execute Lust is no longer the play. It should have been an early lust. So it really depends on your guild and your kill. If you have time to do resets, go ahead and do resets. Try and fish for better luck that it spreads the Fatal Attraction to different people, so boots just keep carrying. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think that for early phase, you're probably going to be lusting off the rip here just to make sure you have everybody alive. And as we get later into the phase and people start like aiming for high parses, you'll see Execute Lust come back onto the menu. Second to last boss, we've got the Illidari Council. This is about a 4-minute fight. It's longer. There's like a mage kiting the caster around. You have to worry about the healer, doing dumb stuff. Generally, as a warrior, we're going to want a lust on the pull. It lines up better with our cooldowns. So if we lust right on the pull, we can fire all of our cooldowns immediately. The rogue and the paladin will be tanked together, and you're going to cleave them hard immediately. The rogue vanishes at about 30 seconds into the fight. So we get about 30 seconds off the rip where we can cleave into these two, and it does a lot of damage. If you've got the lust rolling there, it's just is very nice. So you're going to run all your cooldowns right off the rip. At about the 2-minute mark, you have to remember that the rogue is on pretty much like set times. He's up for 30 seconds, he's down for 45. He's up for 30 seconds, he's down for 45. I think something around that. And so the way that lines up is that at about the 2-minute and 15-second, the rogue's going to come back up, and your 2-minute cooldowns are going to come off of cooldown there. Now, if your kill time is in the like 4 minutes and 15 to 4 minutes and 30-second range, then you can get a 2-minute cooldown in right down the middle. So it'll look like full cooldowns off the rip for the cleave. At the 2-minute and 15 mark, when you have your potion and your bloodlust brooch back up, you will use them when the rogue comes back up and is brought back into the cleave stack. Then he'll vanish again, and you will have all of your cooldowns available for the execute phase when the rogue comes back up again. Yeah, so you're getting 2 uses of Death Wish, 3 uses of your 2-minute cooldown. Yep, and sappers and explosives, all that good stuff. Okay, on to Illidaddy, the last boss. This is a really long fight. It's hard to break down what is best for each guild because each guild's going to do things differently. In a heavy melee stack, the most dangerous part of this fight is the Blades of Azanoth. So that's probably where you're going to see our guild lusting for at least the start of this phase, just to burn through that phase as fast as we can. Okay. There's 2 different ways to do this. If you are lusting the Blades of Azanoth, then you are not using your full cooldowns off the rip. You will wait about 1 minute and 15 into the fight, whenever it is you push him over into that second phase. Full send your cooldowns there. Then you will have a long phase of Illidan without cooldowns, and then the final phase after Teron comes out, that's where you'll get your second full usage of cooldowns. If you are going to aim for a lust in phase 3, or pushing 3 into 4, then you'll use full cooldowns off the rip, and then again when you lust. So either way, you're getting 2 uses of your like full set of cooldowns, and you don't want to stagger off your potions on this fight at all. The way that things time out, if you use a potion at the start, a potion and a 2-minute trinket at the start, you won't have them back up for the Blades of Azanoth. If you use them on the Blades of Azanoth, you won't have them up for the next phase, and you'll have them for execute instead. So don't worry about trying to squeeze in extra potions unless you're in a very slow kill guild. You're just going to get 2 full uses of all of your cooldowns at the same time. Either at the beginning, and then in phase 3, or execute, and then the other option is Blades of Azanoth and then an execute. Oh, drat. I didn't talk about armor pen at all and armor values. I will make a secondary video after we get into this phase a little bit that goes over the armor for each boss and what you should wear for each one. I will add a graphic onto each one of these bosses that says their armor as well, just so that you have that information. But right now you have no armor pen, so you're wearing your badge of the Swarm Guard for every single one of these bosses on week 1 without question. Cool. Good luck, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be sick as a dog, so come and watch us on Thursday as we step into High Jaw and then BT. You'll see me just chugging Dayquil, I'm sure, but we'll survive. We'll survive. We'll put up some big numbers. You guys go out there, put up some big numbers for me. See you next time. As always, there's a video. It's over there today. There's a video over there that's got some information for what you should be wearing and like what kind of gearing paths you want to go with. Over there, that one's the subscribe button. It's a cute little rat. I know. All right. Bye, friends.